see. Are you guys able to see this?
Yes.
Okay, let me go back. Okay. Hopefully I'm not blocking. Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Rayma White, and I'm the lead outreach coordinator at NAMI Greenville. That's the National Alliance on Mental Illness. And I'm here today to tell you about NAMI. This is our Know Your NAMI presentation, and usually it's presented by Tiffany Parker, our executive director. But today you have me. She's often really busy and out of the office. So, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, we are the nation's largest grassroots mental health organization with a presence in 650 local communities. There are several offices that are in South Carolina, but we are the one that targets the Greenville area. We provide cost-free, so that's completely free, mental health support, education, guidance, and advocacy for people across the country. And so this is our executive director, Tiffany Davidson Parker. As I said, she's usually the one who gives this presentation, but some background on her. She's a clinical therapist with her MSW from Howard University. She became the executive director of NAMI Greenville in 2023. So she's going into her third year with us. She's pretty much a well-known individual in the mental health community, and she has a heart for helping others and making sure that, our mental health is stable, especially in the upstate area. So, what is mental health? Mental health is a state of mental well-being that enables people to cope with the stresses of life, realize their abilities, learn well and work well, and contribute to their community. It has intrinsic and instrumental value and is integral to our well-being. I always think of the idea that um, it's just so important to feel okay in your mind. Everywhere you go, you have to be with yourself. And so to be trapped, with your thoughts or in a state of things aren't that great for you, it's really difficult. So NAMI is a very important resource, and we're going to get a little bit more to the specific resources we have a little bit later. But I did want to note that current research shows that 1 in 5 adults live with a mental health concern. So if you're in a room with about 30 people, think about how many of those people might be living with some sort of diagnosed or undiagnosed condition. And even with that, I think that all of us at some point in our lives have dealt with anxious feelings or feelings of deep sadness. May not be depression specifically, but we've all been there. So we're all dealing with something. And it's just, this is a really, I think, important thing to keep in mind. Um, Over 58 million adults have experienced some form of mental illness in 2023. That's about 22.8% of adults. 43% of adults in 2024 reported feeling more anxious compared to 37% in 2023 and 32% in 2022. This is very interesting and unfortunate. 50% of students 14 and older with a mental illness drop out of high school. One thing about NAMI is that historically our programs have supported those who are 18 and older, but we are working on targeting children, like younger individuals. So we have a youth board that just started, a youth advisory board that's kind of getting mental health resources into schools. They're in high school, but we're also looking to have support groups for younger, like middle school aged individuals. We just need a therapist. We need to have a therapist in the room. So we're working in developing that currently. So what is impacting our mental health? Economic fluctuations, which is very apparent when we look at what's going on with the economy right now, health problems and immobility, isolation and loneliness, which I think I've seen a lot come up a lot in recent conversations with people in the community, lingering grief and loss. One thing that's constant about life is that we're going to lose people that we love in whatever shape or fashion that may occur. Political and racial tension, ongoing stress and disruption. Some signs and symptoms of depression. One thing that I also came into understanding when I met with a lot of people in the community is that they would come to like the resource table and tell me that, I'm not here for myself, I'm here for somebody else. And that person, they just don't understand that they need help, and even with ourselves, sometimes I think that we might not be completely checked in with what we have going on. So these are some signs and symptoms that you may want to, kind of check in with yourself about or with the people that you love. So signs and symptoms of depression: memory difficulties or personality changes, physical aches or pain, fatigue, loss of appetite, sleep problems, loss of interest, a desire to isolate rather than socialize, and suicidal thoughts or feelings. And I want to put in here that also passive suicidal ideation is a thing, not really wanting to act on anything, but just kind of waking up and being like, I don't really feel like being here. I'm tired of doing this. Kind of like a more passive thing. And I think it's really important to check in with yourself and know when it's getting to this point, because if we don't, things can kind of snowball and have drastic effects. Signs and symptoms of anxiety, which is pretty common, I've been seeing these days. Irrational and obsessive thoughts and compulsive behaviors, physical aches and pains, inability to sleep, loss of appetite, not wanting to leave home, avoidance of activities, places, people, and triggering thoughts. So, all of that to say that mental illness does not discriminate, it affects everybody. Now, there are certain intersections where I think maybe you might be a marginalized group and maybe you might be dealing with some sort of financial or economic disparity. Then the results or the effects of mental health can be a lot more intense there. But nobody's safe from, dealing with mental issues. We all go through things. So it affects all genders, sexualities, races, religions, and ages. We just want to make that clear. So know the signs. If you, in 2 or less than 2 weeks, you notice, or more than 2 weeks, you notice that someone feels they might be expressing excessive irritability or anger, extreme worry, intense highs and lows. They're easily overwhelmed. Somebody may look exhausted. They may have low energy. They may suddenly gain or lose weight. They may be fidgety or nervous. There may be a drastic change in their appearance. They might be more withdrawn or avoidant. They might have a drop in their work or school performance. There might be some sort of substance use there. They might be late or not showing up. They might be confused. There could be changes in concentration, persistent negative thoughts, self-harm thoughts. And these aren't just in other people, these are things that we should be aware of in terms of ourselves. So if you notice how someone there are these drastic changes in how they feel, look, think, or act, then there are resources available to you. And at NAMI Greenville, one thing that we have are our support groups. So our NAMI Connection Recovery Support Group, this is a confidential and safe support group for adults living with mental health conditions. So this is for people 18 and older. You do not have to be diagnosed with anything. You don't even have to sign up. You just come to the office, and they meet every Monday from 6:15 for about an hour and a half. And you can also Zoom into this meeting. At the end of the presentation, you'll have all of the links so that you can visit our website and see this. But yes, this is for people 18 and up. We also have a family support group. This is a support group for individuals, for family members of individuals who might be suffering from a mental health condition. So maybe you're a caregiver, maybe you're the parent of somebody and you need support, you need to talk to other parents, maybe you're a sibling, things like that. So it's just a safe space to kind of figure out how you can better support your loved one, and also to just decompress and talk about what you might be dealing with yourself. Not listed here, but I think it's important to just put it out there that we do have veteran support groups as well. I think they meet every first and third Wednesday. So presentations, this is another big thing that NAMI Greenville offers. So we have our Ending the Silence presentation. This is for middle and high school students to learn about mental health conditions and warning signs. We also have Know Your NAMI, which is what I'm presenting right now. And it's actually my first time doing it for any business, church, or community organization that would like to learn about mental health and the resources that we offer. We also have the Sharing Hope presentation, which is for those of Black or African American ancestry to start conversations about mental health well-being. And we also have NAMI Compartiendo Esperanza for Hispanic and Latin American communities to start conversations about mental health and well-being. So the way these presentations work is that typically somebody will go to our site and just submit the information or what they're looking for in our contact form, and it'll come through my email or somebody else's, and we'll set something up. So if you're interested in specifically in this conversation, maybe having NAMI come out to a school people. We were just at JO Man not too long ago because they had some, unfortunately, two students that had passed away due to suicide. We came out there to talk to the parents and the students. You can contact us and we will get somebody out there. Um, we also have educational classes. There's NAMI peer-to-peer. This is for individuals who have mental health conditions or symptoms. You don't have to have an official diagnosis. Unlike the support groups, you do have to register for this because we need an official head count. And I think it's a 6 to 8 week course, and you just learn how to better manage, what you're going through, how to move through life a little bit more efficiently. There's NAMI Homefront. This is a class for loved ones of veterans and active military service members. Same concept. You do have to register for it. It's to last about 6 to 8 weeks, and it's just to teach caregivers and family members how to better support their loved ones. We have NAMI Basics, which is for parents and caregivers of youth and young adults who are under the age of 22 who are experiencing mental health symptoms. And then we have NAMI Family to Family. So this is not to be confused with our support groups. These are actually classes that you will sign up for and complete over a course, a certain amount of time. I did want to spend some time talking about NAMI in Our Own Voice, which is a very popular presentation that we have. This is an interactive presentation that provides insight into what it's like to live with mental illness. So basically, if you want us to come out to whatever site you want us to be at to deliver this presentation, it will be presented by someone who has been diagnosed or has been dealing with a mental illness in their lifetime. And so in the presentation, or because of it, the participants will recognize that mental illnesses are treatable medical conditions. They'll discover that recovery is possible because you'll see somebody who has lived experience with what we're talking about here. You'll see people living meaningful lives beyond stereotypes. And I think this is really important. You'll be able to discuss questions in a safe environment. People often don't want to ask questions. They're afraid of the stigma. And you'll learn the importance of getting involved to help yourself and others. NAMI on Campus, they want to put this out there too. NAMI on Campus for colleges is an incredible leadership opportunity for students to bring mental health clubs to their schools and community. We believe in empowering students to have control over the design of the club for their individual schools. So although we provide you with the framework with how to run your club, we encourage you to personalize it and make it your own. I'm not sure how applicable that is to this meeting specifically, but I do want to put that out there because we're trying to get into the universities and colleges a little bit more. Yes. So our resources, if you want to scan these QR codes for information about our support groups, you can do that. It'll take you straight to the website. The website URL is also below. I did also want to put out that we want to note that NAMI has a helpline. It's 1-800-950-NAMI, and also the 988 free mental health crisis line. It's known as the suicide hotline number, but you don't have to be that far into a crisis. If you call that number, you can just be dealing with something that's really heavy, and there will be somebody available to talk to you. And I think more people are starting to learn about that. I've been told that it's on the ID cards that students have. So just want to put that resource out there as well. And thank you. That's about it. This is our contact information. Again, you can visit the site to get more information about our support groups and classes. You can call the office, you can drop by, and our Instagram. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I'm here.
Well, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm just here if anybody has any questions for a little bit. I did have to get off the call a little bit early. Let me stop.
All right. Thank you. Let me check the chat. And everyone, please feel free if you have a question. Please unmute yourselves and ask Rayma. That's fine. Totally fine.
How you doing, Miss Keisha?
Hey, how you doing?
I just want
Uh-oh, can't hear you. You went back on mute.
I'm sorry. How you doing? I can't. What's her name again? Miss Rayma.
Right. Yes.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it Rayma or Rayma?
Rayma.
Rayma.
Mhm.
How you doing? I work at Carolina Howard Communities and Schools, and I just want to know if I could just set up a time where y'all could come there and do some tabling and talk to the students about mental health.
Yes.
Great idea.
Yes. Do you have,
How you doing, Miss
I can
Key.
email you. Could you put your email address in the chat and I would reach out to you
Yes,
about
ma'am.
that? Is that possible?
And I loved your presentation. I think it's very needed. It's just unfortunate in in our community, the Black community and in Hispanic, it's not mental health is not talked about a lot.
Yeah.
It's, you'll be okay, you'll get over it, or it's okay, and it's not. And I
Yeah.
want our babies to know that it's okay not to be okay.
Yes.
Because then
Yes,
they
that's
grow
really,
into adults and then they not okay and it get worse.
yeah. And I think that's important. We have to teach them this while they're young, it's really hard to not have the foundation of like that knowledge and then try to tap into it when you're older. So, yeah, I would love to come to the school to talk to them or just to set up a table there. So, yeah, just definitely get me your email address and I will reach
And
out
Miss
to you.
Keela is on here. We'll love you at Tanglewood too.
Okay, that sounds good to me.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're
Yes, and I can
welcome.
connect you to the staff at those schools and the emails. I know you have a meeting to get to. So yes.
Yeah.
Okay, is there any other questions? All right. Okay. Well, we will have this recorded and on our YouTube channel. So this will be available as well as I will send that information to you, Rayma, as well. And thank you so much.
Thank
Let's
you.
see. Yes, Shannon Land, Lakeview Middle would love to have you too. So yeah, I'm going to connect you to all of them in the email after the
Okay.
meeting. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Thanks. Okay. Well, have a great day.
You too.
All right. Okay, thank you. So let's see. We have next joining us with Unity Health on Main, Miss Rosa Gonzalez. Welcome, Rosa. Uh-oh, you're on mute.
Now, can you
There
hear
we
me
go.
now?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Hi. Well, good morning and thank you for inviting me. My name is Rosa Gonzalez. I am the mental health therapist here at Unity Health on Main. We are a clinic, so we have 3 doctors on staff. We have certified nurse practitioners. We have some that are specializing in pediatrics, some geriatric, and some that just work with any age group. We have licensed medical assistants as well, so we do lab work here as well. If we can't meet a need here, then we connect with whatever other clinic they'll be able to meet the need. So about 2 years ago, Norma realized that in terms of the mental health status of the clients that were coming here, there was a need. So, I met with her and I had retired from the school district after 20 something years. Thought I was going to be gone forever, but here I am 2 years later. I went from having one day, 4 hours, to working 5 days a week. The mental need in this community is large, and a lot of it is what Rema just said. A lot of times, especially in various cultures, I'm just not going to name one or two. Mental illness was something we didn't talk about. They thought that as you got older, you were going to outgrow it. But what we realize is you don't outgrow it, and unless you identify, you then don't get better. You don't get better, and you live your life with this constant stress and anxiety and insurance that then you pass down to your own children because they what you do. So what I do here, I'm certified in DBT, CBT, trauma. So I have a lot of certifications and I have over 45 years of experience. Before I relocated here to South Carolina 30 years ago, I did work in New York City. Did my master's work in Stony Brook University. I worked at Sing Sing, I worked at Rikers Island, I worked in private psychiatric hospitals, I worked in the school districts in Long Island. So my experience comes from a variety of different agencies and organizations I worked at. When I relocated here, I started for a year at what is now called Carolina Behavioral Health. I worked there for 2 years. Then I was blessed to get hired for the school district where I worked there for 20 years. And then I became a lead social worker and then thought I was ready to retire and retired. But I see the needed community is hard. And it's not only a physical need, it's not only a mental need, but it's also a spiritual need too. Even with food, we here at Unity Health, I mean, like I said, we have doctors, we have nurse practitioners, we have a case manager that helps families that if they don't have access to other agencies, how can we connect them to get needs in other areas? Twice a month, we give out food boxes, which is from local farmers. Patients that are here able to come and get food boxes. In Thanksgiving, we gave out over 500 turkeys to families in need. We're going to be giving out hams now for Christmas. Norma's able to get grants, so we have a medicine that you would normally go to like CVS, like Tylenol and Motrin and acid reflux medication, things that sometimes people don't have the money to go out and buy. So once they see a doctor or they come in to see me and they hear some symptoms, then I ask the doctor, and we're able to give them medication that they may not have money to pay for. We also pay sometimes for their medication if they don't have insurance. We have one of the lowest fees for seeing a doctor. And if you don't have the money at that time, then they'll do a payment plan for you. So we don't turn anybody away. The majority of our staff is bilingual, so we're able to engage with people that are not English speaking. And if we need an interpreter, then we'll find someone on the hotline that speaks whatever other language the client speaks to. I have about 60 clients on my caseload. Some I see once a month, some I see weekly, some I see every 2 weeks. And I specialize from children to adults. So we're looking to hire a second therapist because I can't do more than what I'm doing right now, and the need is continuing to increase. I do a lot of community outreach. I go to schools. I go to a lot of the community activities that we have, set up a table and let people know the service that we offer and how we could get people to come in. I mean, we have clients coming in here that have not seen a doctor for 20 years, are diabetic, have high blood pressure, have no insurance. So we try to get them help in terms of the medical, but also in terms of the medication they will need. Since in types of forms of therapy, I do a little bit of everything. I also do family counseling, and I also do marriage counseling as well. So again, we look at the patient, we see what they need, we see what we could offer them, and then we connect them to those that offer more than what we have here. Any questions?
What are the days and hours that Unity Health is open?
Okay, we're open Monday to Friday from 8 to 5. Sometimes I have to see clients in the evening because, out of work. And on January, we will be starting to open up for counseling on Saturdays. And we have 2 locations. We have this one here, which is our 505 North Main Street. And our second location is in District 25, where it's Upstate Circle of Friends. We already have 2 clinics set up there. We have a clinic for the mental health, and we also have the clinic with the doctors. So we should be opening that up in either the second or third week in January. So we'll have 2 sites.
Okay, I was checking the chat. Does anyone else have any other questions for Miss Rosa? Okay.
Well, like I said, you could always come. We always allow people to come and visit the clinic if you want to. You're able to come in. I know you'll put my information in terms of the number here, this way in case families need to set up appointments. We do, like I said, from infants to adults. And whatever we can meet here, we definitely will connect the family to an agency or a clinic that will provide the services that they need.
Okay, thank you so much, Rosa.
You're welcome.
Great
And
to
I gotta
see you.
leave because I have another Zoom meeting, so I'll be leaving. But thank you again for the invite, and everybody have a good day and a great holiday.
Yes, you too. Thank you for joining us.
Okay,
Talk to you later.
bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, and our last presenter will be Susan with Waltz Waltz. I don't see her on here. I don't believe she's, let me just check to make sure I didn't miss her. No, I don't see her. Okay. Okay, so actually, we won't be getting that presentation. Does anyone have any questions or anything they would like to discuss? We can open up the chat, and basically you can unmute yourselves and speak as well. If there's any resources that you're kind of looking for and haven't had any luck, this is basically we can do an open discussion to close out.
If nobody has anything that they want to speak on, I would like to speak on something that kind of relates to the situations and the stories today.
Okay.
Do you want to see if anybody's got something to say?
Well, no, I don't see anything. So yeah, you can go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. I want to start with my testimony. It kind of relates to mental health. I didn't get on here for some reason. The link you sent yesterday wouldn't let me get on. So I was late and I didn't catch the whole mental health thing, but I feel like my story can relate to a lot of this.
Okay.
So I'm gonna start with I really wasn't I didn't have a doctor. And I watched my kid's father pass in front of us due to a massive heart attack. After his passing, I was dealing with seizures a couple months later that I never had dealt with before in my life. I started seeing a doctor, and he put me on medicine for seizure, depression, anxiety, blood pressure, and seen me for about 2.5 years and kept just trying to treat me for depression, anxiety, and I just kept having problems. And I felt like I was dealing with a lot of depression because after I watched my old man die, my mother passed a year later. So I was dealing with a lot of depression, a lot of mental health, a lot of stuff that I never really addressed as a child going into my adulthood. And I just dealt with a lot of stuff that I felt like it was in my head. And I just had a doctor that wasn't doing his job and kept telling me everything was okay and kept trying to see, if there was other things that he could do to figure out what was going on. Well, he was like, well, let's do a hysterectomy. You're going to be a brand new person. So come this February of this year, I had a hysterectomy. After my hysterectomy, I started losing weight. And I was like, is this normal? And he's like, yeah, just 5 more pounds, Priscilla, you're fine, 5 more pounds. So I went back another 3 months later and had lost another 20 pounds. I got up and walked out because I knew something wasn't right. And when I got up and walked out, that's when he had me come back and started doing all these testings and to try to figure out what was going on with me. Come to find out, I had colon cancer for 3 years that he let go undiagnosed. The whole time he's treating me for anxiety, depression, had me thinking it was all in my head. And August 11th is when they actually told me I had colon cancer that had went into my lymph nodes, into my liver. I had 14 spots on my liver. I started chemo September. I just got a scan this past month that was my PET scan. That was my halfway mark. I've had a lot of powerful people praying over me, and God has put a lot of powerful people in front of me. And I'm telling you, prayers are powerful, and I'm a testimony. But when I went for my scan, and I went back last week for the results, and those was 2 days Thanksgiving. I went Tuesday before Thanksgiving. I got my results the day after Thanksgiving, and those 2 days was whew, it was hard because I prayed and I gave it to God, but the worrying part is still human, and it's natural for us to worry. But my results come back. Those 14 spots, he said he could barely see 2 spots on my liver. My tumors are 70 to 80% shrinkage. And I'm telling you, like, God is good. They kept wanting me to get a biopsy. They kept saying my PET scan was showing I have breast cancer on top of the colon cancer and everything else that I had going on. Again, this past Sunday at Redemption, I had 2 men I've never seen a day in my life touch me and pray over me. And when I tell you that they released everything from my body, I knew going in for that biopsy that it was going to come back cancer free. And she called me yesterday and told me that there was no cancer. So my breast is clear. I'm just dealing with the colon cancer, and I still have 3 more months of chemo to do. But I just know that these 3 months are just testimonies. This whole last year has been nothing but testimonies. But on top of not only my health, my mental health, like I've had me and my daughter in therapy. We get therapy every other week outside of school. She gets school counseling at school once a week. And I mean, mental health is really important. I feel like I went into a lot of my adulthood not healed from my childhood trauma. And I should have got the counseling and the help that I needed then. And it wasn't available back then. I feel like this older generation feel like if they didn't talk about it, it didn't happen. And it was more or less swept under the rug. And I feel like a lot of people don't believe in therapy. They feel like they don't want to talk to someone. But I feel like that's the best thing you could do is go to therapy, talk to an outside person that doesn't know you, doesn't know who you're talking about, doesn't know anything about you. And I know sometimes people feel like, oh, I don't want to see a shrink. But I'm telling you, right now, that's the best thing I could do for my child. My child is fixing to be 14. She watched her daddy die the day after her 10th birthday. And I'm telling you, I can't keep her busy enough. I can't keep her to where she's around positive role models, because these kids are mean. My child is in sports, and it's like they lose games, they're called losers, they're called horrible names, and like it's a lot on these teenagers. And I'm telling you, like, I had to heal for myself, and not only myself, like I got to make sure my daughter is good when I'm not here to guide her and give her the right directions and the right positive influence. And it's like, I can't stress, if you need counseling or you need help as an adult, never feel like that you can't. It's too late. It's never too late. I'm telling you, God is good. And I'm telling you, these kids are our generation. And we have to be role models, and we have to do everything in our power to make them to be the better and the best that they could be in this world, because this generation, I'm telling you, is so mean and evil. And these kids, it's so sad, just trying to be there and support my daughter in her sports. It's just, she comes home and she's like, Mama, these kids are just mean. They're saying we suck. We ain't no good. And I'm like, well, ask them, who are they playing for? What are they doing for their team? But, I get it. It's social media in a different generation than we ever could imagine being in. And I couldn't imagine being in high school or middle school or being a teenager at this generation and era, because it's intimidating. And I feel like these kids need all the support and role models that we could put in their paths. And I could sit here and talk all day, but I don't want to hold you. I just knew you didn't have that person. So I felt like I wanted to share my testimony, because God has been so good and has blessed me. And I mean, even through y'all, I'm telling y'all, I mean, I don't know what I would have done without y'all. And, we fall short a lot of times, and it's human. We're all, we all sin. We're all human. We all make mistakes. And it's like, we all need help. And I think that was one of my biggest problems, is swallowing my pride and reaching out to that school and saying, hey, I need help, because I've been independent and I've done it on my own. And if I couldn't get out here and work and do it, I would go have yard sales. I'm telling you, I'd always find a way. But because of my health, it's been hard. I haven't been able to get out here and do the things that I normally could do. And I've been very blessed, for the people that God has put in my path, in my children's lives as well. And I want to thank y'all. I mean, y'all, Tanglewood, y'all have really been a big help to us. And we appreciate everything y'all have done. Y'all have been a blessing.
Well, thank you. And you have been a blessing as well, and inspiration. And I'm so glad about the great news. Congratulations.
Yes.
That's a huge blessing.
Yes,
Definitely have
God.
to, celebrate. That is awesome. Definitely.
Yes. Well, I'm glad I could kind of throw that in there to kind of relate to the mental health, because I'm telling y'all, therapy is so, so needed, and we don't realize it as humans. We get so busy and so caught up in our everyday lives that we don't realize it's so stressful. We need someone that we can vent to, that doesn't hold it against us. And sometimes when your friends and families, you feel like they get mad and they want to, say harmful things or throw those things up. And with a therapist, you ain't got to worry about them repeating anything you say. They don't hold nothing against you. They don't repeat it to the next person. Like, it's so beneficial in so many ways. It really is. And I mean, with me, And my daughter is just a typical, just having to deal with a 13-year-old teenager because I mean, I feel like she should be more compassionate and caring because of my situation, but sometimes she seems like she just cares about her phone and being cool and looking cute. And it's like, sometimes that's like depression and it hurts my feelings, but I also have to put myself in her shoes. So it's like, my therapy sometimes could just be sitting there talking about how my 13-year-old daughter don't want to clean up her room, but it's still somebody I could just vent to.
Absolutely.
So therapy's always well needed and good for everybody. I feel like no matter how old, how young, if you're kids, I mean, these kids have a lot that they have to face just in school in general and social media. It's a tough world, and I realize my daughter don't really like sharing things when she's being bullied. I usually have to end up picking information from her. She doesn't really like sharing her stuff with me, and I don't know if she knows that I'm going to come to the school and react on it. But even if she's being the bad person, that school will tell you I'll come up there. Like I don't pick sides, and I'm not one of those parents that co-signs her daughter's bad behavior because they will tell you I'm not that person. I don't believe in that. When a child is wrong, they're wrong, and they should be held accountable for their actions.
Now that was something I had to learn with my children because I am a reactor, whether it's my voice or my facial expression.
Yes.
So they stopped telling me stuff. Well, my oldest, he 15, he stopped telling me because he's like, I knew you was gonna act like that. So I just started listening and not reacting, which Miss Keely has never tell you. I still go to the school,
Yes.
but I hide so they won't see me up there at Tanglewood. But
Yes.
that could be a thing, and don't know kids really want to talk to their parents. I'm gonna just tell you that
Uh-uh.
I'm four, so it's not just your baby.
Yes.
So
I
you're not
know.
alone.
Well, she'll rather go upstairs and talk to my neighbor than she tells me. So most of the stuff I find out from my neighbor, she'll be like, well, Bea said this, or Bea did this, or Bea. I'm like, what? But yes, they definitely find their persons that they want to talk to and definitely don't want to share things with us.
And see, her friends, they are all run into the office and tell me everything, but she'll just sit there and look at me crazy.
I'm gonna add this. I love Miss LeBlanc at Tanglewood. She is great. I love to call her, and she love to call my kids up front. So they get to the bottom of things, and so they know me. I love to run to the school because if they tell me something, I'm coming. But
Yes.
to add to your story, with your 13-year-old minds, it's the same. I got 11, 12, and 13-year-old, so they're all the same. I have to beat information out of them. Then it's like, are you cool? That's what they tell me. So
Right.
it's like I'm the wrong one, but they'll come home and tell me all this awesome stuff, and I go to the school, I'm the wrong one. So
Right. But I always feel like they'll appreciate it when they get older and have kids. Right now we're the bad guys because I know I'm Bea's worst enemy. But I've told her, I was like, one day you'll appreciate me. You'll realize you had a good mama that cared.
And it's embarrassing to have your parents at the school too.
Right. I'm always up there for something though, it seems like.
well, they do hurt your feelings, though. They really do hurt your feelings. And sometimes I sit and just cry to myself because I was like, what do I go wrong at? But it's not us, it's just a generation now. It's like,
Yes.
everything is embarrassing. They don't want you to come to the school anymore. They don't want you to do anything. They want to come home and tell you everything. Everything that they want to tell you. It's just different now, and it's just like they so mean to you as a parent. You just be like, why?
I
You
think
do
when
everything that you can and they just don't care.
Yes, I think when DSS pushed it to where they wanted us to stop whooping the kids, and I don't think it was the whooping part, but I feel like when they made it to where kids could feel like, oh, well, I'll call DSS if you whoop me. When I think they took that away from us, that these kids started threatening us and we felt like we couldn't whoop them, then I felt like, the system just started failing us because now I feel like where we grew up in the era, we had to do chores and earn what we have. My daughter doesn't really want to pick up after herself. And I'm telling you, I just sent $30 to the step team, $30 for basketball. Every time I turn around, I'm having to send money to this school that I really don't have. And I'm like, I can't even get you to wash dishes or do any chores. And it's like they feel obligated and entitled to stuff that they haven't deserved. Where we grew up in the era, like we did more than what we had to do at home, and we didn't even get nothing in return half the time. Like we grew up in a struggle to where we didn't have stuff. I barely had one pair of nice shoes to wear to school. My child has 20 pairs of shoes in there and sit there and complain about something. And I'm like, you don't even know what the struggle is really like. And it's really sad because these kids, like, they just feel like they're obligated, like we owe them instead of them actually deserving it or being um well, helping around the house, doing chores or just anything. And even like at the basketball game Monday night, I'm sitting here looking at these kids sneakers and I'm like, oh my gosh, like there's no way like I could have ever afforded anything like this. And my sister had just bought my daughter some shoes while she was here visiting from Colorado 2 weeks ago, and she was just like, there was a pair of Adidas. Those aren't basketball shoes. Those are, I was like, why aren't they basketball shoes? Is it because they're not Nikes? And she's like, I was like, babe, I was like, you need to be more appreciative. She said, Mama, I'm the only one on the basketball team that don't have new basketball shoes. And when I seen them Monday night, them kids have on shoes that look like they're $200 and $300 shoes. And I'm sitting here like, there's no way I could afford this. But I'm like, I can't imagine being my child feeling like she's the only one that ain't got $2 and $3 pair of basketball shoes on the darn court. And I'm like, man.
But see, that's where we come in as parents. It's not, I tell mine all the time, it ain't about that. You here
Yeah,
to learn. I'm sorry, cause she on the step team as well. I'm not buying no new shoes. I'm a mother of four. So I
right.
can't afford it. And even if I could, I still not because she don't like to listen or clean up either. So no.
Yes.
And
And
And they
that's
my
what
feel
I
son
tell
needs to
her.
entitled. So
learn.
sometimes as parents, we have to put our foot down. They gonna get mad and roll eyes and mumble and whatever, but she'll be all right.
Well, that's why
See,
she
that's not
doesn't
the
really
thing
get to
about
go skating. But I feel bad because like everybody
yeah.
else is. But that skating ring is a little club. I went one night
Exactly.
and it
Yeah.
is not it is
You doing
not
the
what it
right
used
thing,
to
mama.
be.
She'll be okay. Mine
Yeah.
don't go nowhere. Lucky if she get to go to the dance Friday.
Yeah, I just gave her
I don't know,
$5
you don't know
yesterday. And
about
that's
that.
what I mean. I'm constantly
It's
giving her
like
money
it's
for
like I got
something.
three. It's like I got three, and all of them want like every time I turn around, I'm not lying. My kids, Stanley on Beta Club, that was $30. Step team $30. Field trips for a course, $7, $5 for shirt, $95 for
Yeah.
the shoes for the step team, $30. Then she just threw the dance now, just gave her
Yeah.
$5 for that. I mean, it's just so much. And then like she didn't care that I had a Christmas party Friday at 6 o'clock. She was just like, but I gotta go to this dance, mama. All my friends is here, and I'm just like, you don't even
Right.
clean up, Dominic.
Miss
You don't
Susan
get
just lied
anything. You
down, Miss
got two
Keisha.
iPhones.
Yes, I
Like,
just saw that.
she told me that I was a bad
Yeah.
parent.
I'm so sorry I was late.
Yes. Oh, it's
I
no.
had
I'm sorry,
I had
Susan.
oh, I'm sorry. I had planned on logging in at this event that I needed to go to, leaving it and doing that. Well, then they had canceled the event. So I had to drive back from Spartanburg and hurry so that I could get here because I had just, there was a lot of other people there. I guess somehow we missed an email or something, or whoever knows whatever happened. But anyway, yeah, I would just let me know when it's okay for me to start, and I can take you through a few things and stuff.
Yes, absolutely. So yes, this is actually Susan with Was Was. Welcome, Susan. The floor is yours.
Yeah.
Well, the virtual Zoom is yours.
Awesome. Let me grab this super fast so I can get to the right page. I have like a million things up right now trying to get something to work. So let me see if I can get it out of here really quick. Let's see. Okay, 1 second. I'll just share my screen. I'm going to share my screen. You're just going to see a mess until I get to the right page. Let me see.
Take your time.
Thank you. I'll just go here and then I will. Yeah, okay. Can you see our website or no? Or do I have it on the wrong thing? I probably just pulled up the wrong thing. Let me
Let's
see.
see. We can see where it says they designed their cover. Oh, now it's moved.
That's not it. Okay, hang on 1 second. Let me see. There it is. Okay. Now I think you'll be able to see it. Let me see if I move it over. Can you see it now?
No, we see.
Okay, let me just stop sharing and let me try it one more time. I'm so sorry. It's just me. I have like too many things up on my screen. There it is. Okay. All right. So thank you. My name is Susan Crooks, and my son Will and I founded our nonprofit, Waltz Waltz. We really started. Oh, sorry. Can you hear me or no?
Yes, we can hear you
Okay,
and see
good.
the website.
I just wanted to be sure. So we started our nonprofit. Actually, we started just 2 days after losing my son Walt by suicide. It's an emotional thing that we do, but we have a lot of we've been working on this. We became a nonprofit really quickly, and so I wanted to share just some of the programs and different things that we offer. You can always go to our website and find out a little more. Look how cute that is. Somebody made a little butterfly for us to fly. That was this is us actually here at Spartanburg at an event. We have what we call three-step approach: education, equity, and then we'll be stigma-free. And it's part of why it's a waltz. So we believe that without education, we're all ignorant to a point with mental health. Not to say that, but I'm a teacher. I always say those types of words, like, because we don't have much understanding of it, and oftentimes we're misinformed. Not everyone, of course. Some people are very knowledgeable, but in general, if you didn't study it in college and you didn't have it in high school, usually, we have sometimes assumptions and bias that we may bring to the table. And so we really believe that we have to start with education, and then equity, not only in care, but also in funding for areas of example, genetics and epigenetics and neuroscience. And so these are just some of the things we do. And then we feel like we will have gone through our 3 steps of our dance to become stigma free. And so this is a picture of my son, just my first article that was published. An artist asked if he could paint his portrait, and he'd only done graffiti art. He said, "I've never done anything like this before, so don't expect much." In 2.5 days, he painted this 8-foot by 8-foot portrait. It's actually on display right now in Spartanburg at the Spartanburg Art Museum. They're one of our Waltz Waltz stigma-free environments. You can see the little stained glass butterfly plaque there. That's an indication of a stigma-free environment. Sometimes they don't have them out, where you would see them, but so I was just going to go a minute to a few of our resources. So we have different programs. And where's everybody located in? Is it just all over, or could someone tell me, maybe let me know?
Greenville.
It's
Yes,
mainly in
mostly
Greenville.
The
Okay,
middle
all
and
right.
high schools. But
Okay, I
we
don't know why I kept thinking it might be, because Spartanburg's on my brain, but mostly we are in Greenville. So this actually Greenville Center for Creative Arts was our very first Waltz Waltz stigma-free environment. And they became one November 6th of 2020. And so we have expanded some. So like USC Upstate is one of our one of our wall-to-wall stigma-free environments. We have over 25. The Phoenix Center, the Greenville Swamp Rabbit team. I'll show you in a minute. But this is our painting mental health workshops. We've done over 4,500 people have attended these programs, and they all receive like a nice set of watercolor paints, our bags, and a bunch of other materials, our self-care tips. We pair them with mirrors. We give them, we have positive affirmations that we want them to say in the mirror, because oftentimes it's really hard to say something good about yourself. We had Beta Theta Pi as one of our Waltz Waltz stigma-free environments, and they created these positive affirmations for students because they wanted them for themselves as well. And so these are really good, and saying them in a mirror there's just something about it that can be quite difficult. It's kind of telling when when that happens, because you feel like, oh gosh, it's so hard to say this to myself, like, something positive. And we have them for adults, and we have them all different types of affirmations as well. But we do, if you go on our website, you can see the different things that we do, table talk discussions. I was a teacher. I'm still certified in South Carolina my entire life. So this program, mainly it's for middle school through senior citizens. And we keep everything very active. So you're not just going to sit and get bored. That's what we feel like. And people don't, because you're painting, you're talking, table talk discussions, things like this. And the program can take between 1 and 2 hours, depending on the amount of time that people have and what they need to have covered. We also do programs with wellness. So this is just one example. We also have, this is one that's a big one now that we're doing a lot of. It's called Generational Blend, Nourishing Hearts and Mind Across the Generation. And this is part 2 of the book. And I can, if you go onto the website, it's a really neat thing, because you're wondering maybe, why is a cookbook for mental health? But the idea is connection. We understand that people are very lonely. There's the sitting Surgeon General in 2023 said the United States is experiencing an epidemic of loneliness. And we know that loneliness can bring a lot of pain and more suffering. And that's our 3 things. Well, the 3 things we talk about are, we want to actually end stigma, reduce suffering, and empower those struggling. And in the end, we hope to save lives. But our goal is that we know, according to the CDC, 1 in 5 people have a mental health condition at any given time, and that 50% of people will have a mental health condition in their lifetime. So sometimes we think, oh, it's that person or that family or somebody else or somebody on TV or whatever, in a negative way. But we're not thinking it's just the average, everyday person who struggles. Just like you can have a physical health condition, you can have a mental health condition. You can have good mental health days, and you can also have bad mental health days, just like physical. So I think that if we begin to understand how common this is for people to struggle, we know that talking about things and opening up, because it's not visually apparent lots of times, sometimes, we go over signs of, like, for suicide, during these programs and things, but also, there's times, there's things that you can kind of see as well if maybe someone's depressed, but sometimes it's just completely hidden. And so this is actually really, interesting to read, I think, and I hope you would take the time to read it. This is our community cookbook, and we have it in Spanish as well. We haven't posted it yet, but it'll be up there soon. So you can go through, we have the little things that we talk about, and then we have, because we do this with students, one of the grants that we receive from Euphoria is for students, and we do them with families too, but the student needs to be there and they will get the materials, and and the idea is to try to get students cooking, to talk about things. We have a whole bunch of different questions, and we talk about loneliness and about community and how we build community with, like, schools and with around food oftentimes, and we can think about how we also can feel better about ourselves if we give somebody something, we cook for someone, or even we cook for ourselves. It can be a wellness strategy. We talk about, like, in our book, you'll notice we have all different ethnicities. If when you go through, you will see people of all different types of people, different recipes. And so we talk a lot about the idea that in Greenville, we're blessed to have such a rich cultural diversity, and we want to embrace this. And we also want to be able to have people understand that this is such a beautiful thing. And mental health could be a way for maybe all of us in this divisiveness that is sometimes seen right now in the world, through politics and other things. But when we actually come down to it, we are all just beautiful human beings trying to do our best we can, each of us with different personalities, and finding out more about people. Again, education, when we learn more about them, maybe it doesn't feel as different as maybe you had once thought. And so these are recipes. They've given us some words of wisdom. This year, we actually added people who worked in the food and beverage industry as well, and all the way to senior citizens. I went to like a senior home, and some of the people, this was last year, and it was more focused on seniors. And this year, we decided to add the food and beverage industry workers because we know that there's a lot of substance use. Oftentimes, some people struggle with substance use and mental health conditions, and we want to be there, part of the support. And also, of course, they're in the food business. There's people struggle with all these problems in all positions, in all jobs. But we felt as if this was something cool, to do. And then, we have recipes, from like again, and I'll just go through this quick, and then. But it's kind of neat. We even have Waltz Waltz, sweet just the way you are. Drink. But this is, again, this is just another one of the programs that we offer. And let me see if I just probably cut myself off here. Let me see 1 second if I have anything. I don't know why that keeps coming up. Sorry, it's embarrassing. And this keeps coming up. Let me see. And I could go ahead and go to, let me see if I want to share anything else. I think I kind of lost my, hang on 1 second. Sorry. I actually can stop sharing right now. Let me just see if I can. Sorry. Have I stopped sharing? Is that right? Sorry.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. I just wanted to be sure because I'm like, oh my gosh, when I do these things, I always am kind of halfway messing up. So, but I wanted to see if you guys had questions and things because I know I talk a lot. So I wanted to stop now and, I can show you more of I know that you end, soon. So does anyone have any questions for us, for me, as far as what we do? I can share one thing. Say that you have a group and you'd be interested in a workshop. You can contact us. So you might say, well, how do we get this program to us, to our community? You can just contact me and let me know. We have a lot of the grant already spent in schools and things like that. We also do still have grant money for our painting mental health workshops. And those are really good. People love those. And as I say, we make adaptations for different groups, what they're looking for. We've done these in faith communities. We've done these in the rec centers, schools, universities, businesses, really anywhere. We pride ourselves on the idea that we always show up. Last year, I was at 180 in-person events, just me. And so if you're ever looking to volunteer or things like that, we always need help. We don't really have a staff and things. I'm the staff this now, so if you think of anything that we could do or ways that we can help you if you're struggling or suffering. I want everybody to remember that 988, you can call that number. And it doesn't have to be that you are ready to die by suicide. You can call that number because you need to talk to someone, 988. And if you go, one thing I didn't show you, which, and I know we're about out of time, but something that can be really good is if you go to our website, you can see our self-care tips. And for some reason, our self-care tips, oh, I see why. Never mind. I see what I did wrong. Sorry. On our self-care tips, the thing that can be really good is that all of the lifelines are hyperlinked. And so if you have any, if you're struggling, there's all different resources there. So that's one reason why we feel like it's really good, because if you want to see, what helps out there, it isn't only, 988, there's other numbers that you can call and things like that as well. Of course, 988 is wonderful, but there's also Trevor. There is that you can call, and the numbers there. There's text a counselor. You may just be interested in something, finding out more about an eating disorder or whatever it is. We also, and this is so our stigma-free environments, just so that you get an idea. We have a lot of those. Let me just show you really quick. So these are all of our wall-to-wall stigma-free environments. So you can see we're mostly in Greenville, but we have done some outreach in up in Spartanburg as well. So which is exciting because we're kind of just, you know, very close. I'm just talking for now for a minute because I know you probably need to leave, but I wanted to show you the we offer different programs as well, like say mental health first aid. We do not provide this course. We actually just sign people up for it. We're fortunate to have a person who teaches this class. She works for Prisma Health. And Prisma Health, you know, because she works for her and they have a SAMHSA grant as well, are able to put these on for free. On January 22nd, we have another course. It's virtual. It's 8 hours. You get 7.5 hours professional development, a manual, and 3 years certification in mental health first aid. So it's a great program. There hasn't been, we've been told that there hasn't been one area that, you know, any time that someone was declined the professional development. Something that you might want to look at is taking your mental health temperature. We stress this idea. This will connect you to Mental Health America screenings. We stress it's not diagnostic, but paints a picture of where you are that day. We also have a lot of other resources, as you can tell. But I just wanted to see if, you know, again, you guys had any questions. This was the self-care tips that I wanted to show you.
Okay, thank you so much. Does anyone have any questions? I'm checking the chat as well to make sure we don't have any there.
And so, you know, so I can show people that if they had, if they click any of these as well, that'll take them to that website, you know, whatever they're looking for. So it's kind of neat because it's kind of a one-stop, you know, where we have, you know, if someone wants to find out more about NAMI, then they can just, you know, click and go, or the veterans or whatever. So, and we also have this in Spanish. And then we do have our website, so you can, you know, go up to the corner and go to Spanish. So, you know, that's another option for people. So,
oh, that's great.
And all of our courses are also in English and in Spanish. So, but we would love for you to contact us. We are growing. We are doing better at getting grants and things. I write the grants, but, you know, we're getting better at it. And we're always trying to do programs for free. Sometimes if an organization has a little funding, we might say, oh, could you give us a little funding or an honorarium or something? But, you know, we try our best to just, someone asks, we try to be there. Like I say, we've earned the reputation of always showing up. And part of that is our community always shows up for us. You know, whenever we've had something or we really needed something really bad, it's like a miracle or something. It's like all of a sudden somebody shows up and helps us. So it's really not me or anybody. I mean, it's just this, that our community here in Greenville has been fabulous for us. And now, you know, some folks in Spartanburg as well. So really grateful. You know, we're losing too many people by suicide, but also we know 1 in 5 people right now are suffering. And so the suffering we have to think about a lot. That's 20%. And we know the kids are as well. So if you feel called to work with us some or whatever, just let us know. We always have activities and you know, programs. So all right, I will quit talking. I know I ran way over. Sorry.
No, you're okay. Thank you. This was great information. I just want to check one last time before we wrap up. Does anyone have any questions or would like to comment on anything before we close out the meeting? Let's see. Don't see anything here. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining our last family learning meeting of the year. I wish everyone has a great happy holidays and be safe. Our next meeting will be January 21st, in 2026. And the topic will be career and job training. So we will be kicking off the year with those opportunities going forward in 26. So, all right, if anyone doesn't have anything else to say, we will go ahead and close out, and everyone have a good day.
Thank you guys so much, Elizabeth, Keisha. Thank you so much. I appreciate being here. I appreciate the invite. And sorry I was late. It was just, but I'm
Oh,
glad
that's
I
fine.
got in. Sorry I kept you late. You just have to
Oh.
like pull me off.
Oh, no, you did great. Thank you. It's perfect timing. We had a testimony from one of our parents right before you joined, so it all worked out.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And I hope y'all have a great day.
Yes, you too. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.